Ya, halo selamat pagi semuanya. It's like jam berapa sih? Jam 11 ya. Niatnya mau belajarnya jam 10-an. Ternyata tidak bisa karena ada masalah kit. Saya kemarin malam, tadi pagi sih tadi pagi. Gue kan setelah off streaming nonton YouTube ya. Ya cuman beberapa video YouTube. And then my recommendation ada seorang teenager, ya remaja, I think it's like 20, 21, 22 I think. Pokoknya di umur 20-an lah, sama lah kayak gue di umur 20-an yang kayaknya masih kuliah. So, is study and doing live for 12 hour, 12 jam. Jadi gue agak nge-skip gitu. So dia belajarnya itu tipikalnya itu 10 jam. Jadi dia tuh belajar itu 1 jam gitu selama 10 kali. Jadinya di total 10 jam and breaks for 10 minutes. So exactly like 10 kali 10 ya 100 menitan. Menitan ya udah hampir 11 jam sih. 11 jam something lah. Dan dia live anjing. Dia live. And the feel like kemarin gue nonton live-nya itu dalam satu live is he got like 4K 3K I think. Pokoknya 3000, pokoknya di atas 1000 lah, dia dapat lah di atas 1000. Gila men, di atas 1000. So it's actually just studied and we talk when breaks, dan breaknya itu cuma 10 menit sih. So gua tunjukin videonya, bukan videonya sih, channelnya. Oh wait a minute, transition. Nah, this is the video channelnya. Oh my god, it's like 11 hour 11 hour 11 jam ya, hampir 12 jaman. Tapi nggak ada yang bener exactly 12 hour ya, pokoknya hampir 11 jam ke atas lah. Tuh gue udah short banyak, gue udah ke most popular, jadi yang paling banyak ditonton. So this is the video, let's see that.
What's up, you guys? Today we have
Matiin lagunya ya.
probably the most important one I'm ever gonna make. My most asked question: how did you do it? What was your mindset? How did you study for 12 hours a day for a
Sana.
year? So yeah, let's just go ahead and talk motivation, discipline, drive, mindset. What causes a person to do what I did? So yeah, this is just what worked for me. How I did it, and kind of where I came from. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So, what finally caused that 180 to the point where you're here now? And definitely the first step that I took was in physics. Our professor assigned us a TED Talk to watch, and it was about this thing called the growth mindset. And in the video, they introduced two mindsets. The first one is the fixed mindset, and the second one is the growth mindset. And in the fixed mindset, it's kind of like, all right, here is my ceiling, and anything outside of that ceiling, I'm just not gonna do. I'm born with a limit, and I don't want to push myself. I'm not smart enough to do this assignment, and my boy Greg has got me. And that's definitely the mindset that I had up until that point in my life, was the fixed mindset. You know, in high school, I did really well without studying. Why would I study when I can get A's just fine? But you see, when college finally rolled around and it was actually difficult, I didn't think that it was my studying that was a problem, right? I just thought I wasn't smart enough. And that was just kind of how I was raised, you know? That kid's a prodigy over there. So he's probably not very hardworking, and he just is born with all that talent. He can just do it out of the bat. I never really thought that my mindset was the issue, and I knew that I had like wanted to do well in university and in life in general. So the other mindset.
Dia menjelaskan kalau uh, di masa SMA-nya dia kalau mendapatkan nilai A is easy. Kalau menurut yang gue tangkap sih. Jadi ada profesornya dia, dosennya dia itu ada jelaskan kalau ada 2 tipe mindset, yaitu fixed dan growth. Fixed mindset ya tadi ya? Pokoknya yang ada batasannya, lalu yang kedua itu ada yang selalu berkembang dan berkembang. So, oh my god. Jadi kayak dia kayak apa ya, kayak ya teenager yang ingin apa ya, kayak haus akan belajar gitu loh. So basically it's like it don't care about friendship or I think kayak tidak peduli dengan lingkungannya gitu loh, kayak ya cuman dia ingin belajar dan dia ingin sukses dan dia ingin apa ya, ya sesimpel, kalau kasarannya sih ya kaya aja sih kalau menurut gua sih. Menurut gua kayak pengen jadi kaya gitu aja. So like let's just check it out. Next.
To introduce is the growth mindset. It's all about taking on new challenges and pushing yourself and breaking yourself down so that you can come back stronger. It's about resilience. It's about not waning in the face of aversion, you know? And it's definitely a paradigm shift to what I had before. And it's the very first step that I took was adopting and understanding the mindset in its entirety. So if you're not familiar with the growth mindset, I highly recommend you check it out. And yep, that was the first step that I took. All right, second topic that I want to talk about, which is drive, motivation, and the desire to succeed. All right, so it's a pretty heavy topic. I don't know how quickly I could summarize my entire life's experience in these short 2 minutes or so, but motivation and drive. The key part that I want you to take out of this following segment is that I don't rely on motivation to do the things that I do. I think that if you just rely on motivation, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? Because motivation is volatile. It's bound to change. You know what? It's raining outside. I don't feel like running. I'm just not going to go train for the marathon today. That's what motivation will get you. Nowhere. No, it might get you there for like 2 weeks, but in the long run, no, motivation does not work at all. So I think when people ask me all the time, how are you so motivated? Why can you do this every day? Like, what motivates you? The thing is, I'm not motivated to do any of this. I'm driven to do this. And that's a very big difference, right? Drive versus motivation. The fundamental change between the two is that drive continues. Drive can get you from point A to point B without stopping. And it doesn't care about the rain outside when you're trying to go running. It doesn't care about how cold the water is when you go shower, you know? And that sounds pretty intense, but you gotta understand that motivation is volatile, you know? It's easy to be motivated to do hard things when you're comfortable in life, when everything is going just a-okay. But when you finally face challenges that actually push your buttons, motivation is not gonna work. And That's why I rely on my drive. So, what is drive? I have a difficult time defining it in words, but my desire to succeed kind of does and fans the flame inside my heart to get me driven to do the things that I want to achieve. My goals, my aspirations, those are your drive. And if you rely on motivation to get them, it won't work. So, how did you finally find your drive? I think like I had met truly driven people in my life before. You know, I've met people who are brilliant but also driven. They wanted to get life's full experience. That's actually why I started this channel, was to share my drive online. So, how did you get it? I don't want to say I read a book, but the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins was really important in understanding why I wanted to do the things that I did. I had this really massive chip on my shoulders, this all in high school, because I was always like the weird kid who wasn't socially successful, wasn't particularly liked by other people, and I just really remember like hating that feeling, people just looking down on me, you know, like I'm just another person that they're gonna meet. But I just remember being like, I'm just gonna be so driven that you won't forget me. Yeah, I just always had that chip on my shoulder because I was just always just like the weird kid, and I just always wanted to do better. Also, will say about the whole drive thing that it's
sih. Ah, kadang ya apa ya? Kadang yang kayak gini ini juga akan mendapatkan temannya sendiri, bukan berarti dia dianggap aneh sama temannya, bukan berarti dia tidak akan mendapatkan teman. Dia akan dapat teman sesuai dengan yang dia lakukan. Jadi ya nggak semua 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 yang aneh itu akan dijauhi dan semua yang berbeda itu akan disingkirkan, enggak men. Ya kayak semuanya juga akan mendapatkan kelas-kelasnya, bukan kelasnya sih, I mean kayak kayak eh, grupnya sendiri gitu. Misalkan gua nih, gampangannya gua aja lah. Gua aja kan nggak setiap orang dapat menerima gua karena ya satu dan lain hal, karena ya gua juga nggak peduli juga buat they don't like from me, gua juga nggak peduli juga. Kalau mereka omongin di depan gua ya gua baru menerimanya dan eh, memperbaikinya kalau bisa. Kalau itu pun dikasih tahu. But I love them is kayak cuman ngomongin aja, ngomongin di belakang gitu yang ya cuman main di depan mata gua sendiri, men. Mereka ngomongin gua, tapi gua nggak dikasih tahu, men. Itu depan mata gua gitu. Tapi cuman dengan bahasa yang nggak bukan bahasa verbal, maksudnya bahasa yang mereka mengerti sendiri gitu loh, yang gua nggak mengerti gitu loh. Dengan yang mereka istilahkan sendiri gitu kayak, oh ngomongin gua gitu ya. Terus ya kayak gitulah. Terus kayak gua ngomong nggak diperhatiin, kayak gua ngomong nggak dibalas. Ya udahlah. Eh ya kayak apa ya? Ntar juga kayak bakal bakal kayak ada ranahnya sendiri atau lahannya sendiri untuk mendapatkan teman dengan yang setipe atau apa ya, sejalan lah sama lu sendiri. Dan ada satu yang dikorbankan gitulah. I don't know what's yang dikorbankan. Kalau kayak siapa namanya, Han di FF Tokyo, Fast and Furious Tokyo, dia mengorbankan satu mobil untuk mengetahui value dari temannya sendiri, men. Si Sean kan apa ya, dia kan baru pindah ke Jepang perpindahan Jepang itu dan lalu dia diajak bukan dia melawan driftingnya sana sih. Dia udah tahu sih mobilnya bakal rusak si Han itu. Tapi ya dia tetap memberikan mobilnya dengan pedenya gitu kalau dia udah tahu tok. Tapi juga ya mendapat apa menghancurkan satu mobil juga kayak worth it juga sih menurut Han sih. Tapi ya untuk mendapatkan satu teman yang akan worth it seperti itu ya susah banget sih. Tapi ya itu juga sih. Let's next aja. Let's next the video.
It's not about showing off how driven you are or anything. It's not about doing it for other people. I would say that it was definitely for me. Like, if you watch videos from when I was a little kid or in high school, middle school, you could see how unconfident I was, you know? I couldn't stand up straight. Anything that knocked me down, I would just kind of roll over and lay there. And understanding why I wanted to do better really took me a long time to figure out. And I think the book Can't Hurt Me explains the reason for his drive, and I could see a lot of myself in that person. And I also wanted to share that with you guys, so that's why I started this channel. I wouldn't say that I did it for other people, you know, I did it for me, because I wanted to become the best person that I could be. I got things I want in my life. I want to buy my mom a big house. I want to be a great father. I want to help people. And things like sitting there on Instagram all day, watching pointless YouTube videos all day, rotting away don't get me there. And it took me 19 years to figure that out. I want to be present with my friends, and I really want to connect with people. And I just wasn't putting the two and two together. I didn't know what I really wanted until I just been pushed so hard. The COVID and school, my family, no family, not having a family, and I knew what I finally wanted. And I realized that I couldn't stop and care about small things together. I didn't really wait. I didn't want to wane no matter what. And that's drive. And that's why my YouTube channel, you know, starting off, it took me like 5 months to reach 1,000 subscribers. When I started making these videos, I lost subscribers because I had like 100 when I started. But I didn't care about that. Motivation would have stopped me right there. 5 months, no growth. Why would I continue? But no, drive. Drive got me through that plateau. Because you know what? After that 5 months, I got 1,000 subs, and then another month, I got 10,000 subs, and then 3 months after that, I got 50,000 subs. And that's what drive will get you. You've got to figure out what you truly want, and you have to figure out why you want it. And those things have to be really clear, alright? Because when you're out there and you're fighting, you're going to forget a lot about why you're there. You know, you're going to ask, why am I even doing this? You have to remember why you're doing it. So figure out what drives you, why you want to be a better person, and you have to remember, alright? Drive. After you figuring out drive, the first thing I did after that was build strong habits. There's a lot of systems that I use to do that. The first thing that comes to mind was definitely streaking, like creating journals where you track how much you do something, and every time you do it, you just cross it off. And it builds a streak. That's how I did it. In the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he talks a lot about how to build habits, and I highly recommend the book if you haven't read it. Basically, the habits are what keep you consistent. It's what stops procrastination, because when you're doing something persistently, you don't think twice about doing it, right? You don't think about, man, should I brush my teeth this morning? No, you just do it. And I've managed to turn a lot of things in my life into habits, including studying. I would say before I study for so-and-so every day, I don't think about whether or not I'm going to do it, you know? It's more like my body knows that it's that time of day again. It's time to study. It's time to go work out. It's time to go do the dishes or something. I can't summarize the entire book about how to build habits into this short video, but I highly recommend you check out the book Atomic Habits by James Clear if you want to learn how to do it. But after drive, figure out your habits. So that's the next step. Alright, and then another thing that I had wanted to talk about in this video was measuring your studying and how you're progressing in your studying. And I think on YouTube especially, it's definitely too easy to get obsessed with how long you study, but that's the wrong way to do it. You need to become concerned about how deep you can get. There's another book about this that I also recommend. So in this video, I'll recommend 3 books. The third one is Deep Work by Cal Newport, and it's about studying deeply. How focused can you get in this noisy world? And that's how you should be measuring your studying, because we do things to make us study longer when we know we're going to study for a long time. You know, if you're going to go on an 18-hour plane trip versus a 2-hour plane trip, there's different things that you're going to do. I think that when you don't care about how deep you get, you're not going to make good use of your time, you know? There's better things to be doing than shallow work that you could be doing that actually makes you a better person. In the book, he introduces a formula: high quality work is equal to the time spent times the quality of focus, alright? And if that second variable is low, you're not going to get a lot of work done, regardless of how much studying you do. Quantifying how well you can, or how deep you can go, isn't easy. But I do recommend the book because he does give ways to measure that factor and how to get into the zone. But that's my ultimate goal, honestly, is to get extremely deep for the entire study duration. What I recommend you do is figure out where you're comfortable studying right now, whether that's 2 or 3 hours, you know, or even longer than that. And then during that span, don't change it for a while, but try to get as deep as possible during your study, because that formula, like I mentioned earlier, there's an upper bar on how long you should be studying every day. It doesn't really make sense to me to be studying, you know, the moment you wake up to when you go to bed, because there's just no balance in that. You know, you have to have a life, and you have to have friends. And perhaps I'm a bit hypocritical when I say this, but I've managed to get good enough that I can study for, you know, a certain amount of time every day. Regardless of where you are, you should always be prioritizing how deep you can get. It took me a long time to be able to get where I am now. A few years ago, I could barely study for like 2 hours without getting a headache. But it took a lot of deliberate effort to be able to push myself both in terms of depth and in terms of length. That formula before: high quality work is equal to work done times by the depth. You need to make sure that you're aware that the depth is the more important one, because that one has a lot more room for growth, you know? The other one is fixed. It doesn't make sense to study more than 12 hours a day, at least for me, because I need to be getting like 8 hours of sleep in order to get focused enough that I can study for that long in a certain amount of focus, you know? I'm just rambling, but the point of this section of this video is that you need to understand that the depth to which you study is far more important than how long you study. And I want you to remember that whenever you study. So I also wanted to talk about burnout and staying committed to this lifestyle. I wish I knew all the answers, but I'm not sure what to tell people when they're burned out, other than I think you just need to be patient with yourself, and that you have to accept that it's not always up. There's also downs. Staying committed to this lifestyle, it's not easy. You know, if it was easy, everyone would do it, but it's hard work. There's a balance between pushing yourself to the extreme and pushing yourself too hard. And for a lot of people, that balance is different. And for me, I can push myself pretty dang hard. I think if I went even harder, I would get burned out, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure what I'd do with myself then, but at the start I did get burned out. And really, all that I was able to do during that time was just wait until things got better. And I know that's not like a great thing to say, but we have to accept that things do come with both positives and negatives, and that pushing yourself so hard ain't easy, you know? And it's not desirable always. I wish I could tell you how to get out of a burnout, but I can't. All I can tell you is that you have to be really careful about not getting into a burnout. And if you do get into a burnout, understand what happened and don't do it again. I also want to talk about like your physical health and how I remained healthy, you know, even while sitting for 12 hours a day. And the answer was I was always active outside of the studying, outside of my live stream, mainly running. I was training for a marathon before it was canceled by running a 10K every few days. I ran it 3 days a week. There was like a 2 to 3 week period there where I lost track of things and I wasn't exercising. And man, that was physically horrible. I like muffin topped almost immediately. I think my mental health is just down in the drains then. Yeah, going outside and routinely getting an exercise definitely was crucial in me being able to sit down all day. And another thing that was really important was my posture. If you like look at those earlier videos, you can see that I have just horrible posture. And that took a toll on my back after, you know, a few months of that. And I wish I had taken it more seriously at the start. But now I do take it very seriously. You can see me, I use like a little angled writing stand. I have an ergonomic chair in this position in a way that's very supportive of my back and my lower back, my legs. I wish I had made an investment in those things earlier on, because while I never had to go to like the chiropractor or anything, I think that I wasn't pushing people to be more posturally correct as I should have been. If you're gonna do something like this, you need to make sure that you're physically sound. You know, you're eating the correct foods, and the types of foods that you're eating are all healthy for you, and that you're sitting correctly, you're getting enough physical exercise, because it also impacts your mental health as well. So yeah, that was my physical health, which also plays a big role in your mental health. The last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video was whether or not this is for you. And I wish I could tell you whether or not it was for you, but I know it's for me, mainly because I really have strong aspirations. I'm ambitious. I want to become a better person. I'm interested in helping other people. I'm interested in becoming the best version of me. So those are the reasons that I think I really wanted to study a lot, but maybe those things aren't priorities for you. So this isn't easy by any means. In fact, it's very difficult. And if it was easy, I'm sure that plenty of people would do it, right? Because there's a lot of benefits to pushing yourself hard. I mean, I've learned so much just in the span of this pandemic. I think as I grow older, I'll also have learned much more just by living in this lifestyle that I do. I'm very happy, and I'm present, and I'm focused. So I can't tell you whether or not this is for you. That's for you to answer. But if you do decide to embark on this lifestyle, I hope you do well. You know, I wish you the best of luck. I really do hope that you become a greater person. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was beneficial to you, but have a nice rest of your day.
So ya, itu tadi videonya. Oh my god. Yang gue tanggapi ya kayak after pertamanya yang pasti dia ingin apa? Pertamanya pasti dia ingin apa? Menjadi orang yang terbaik gitulah. Lebih baik daripada sebelumnya gitulah yang pasti. dan setelah dia menjadi lebih baik, mungkin dia bisa membantu orang lain yang bukan ingin sih, ya ingin belajar agar lebih baik juga. Jadi kayak menemukan orang yang sejalan gitu loh, kayak ya tadi kayak ada ranah-ranah tertentu yang tidak semua orang inginkan gitu. Bukan seperti menjadi ahli, tapi seperti berpengalaman gitulah. Dan tapi pun itu pun tidak menjadikan rekomendasi orang gitu loh. Jadi gini, gampangannya dia belajar nih, kayak belajar menjadi orang yang terbaik daripada sebelumnya. Lalu ketika di masa depan ketemu orang yang sama atau menemukan orang yang ingin belajar juga, jadi dia tahu atau sudah berpengalaman dan dia akan memberikan beberapa tips ya seperti tadi, kayak kalau mau gini ya, kalau mengikuti dia ya berarti harus kayak membaca bukunya, lalu mengatur waktunya. Tiap dia kan belajarnya 12 jam, anjing lah, gila, setengah hari untuk belajar. So it's just got like 4 jam for 4 jam buat mandi, makan, main nggak mungkin, tapi I think it's not every day. I think pokoknya kalau belajar dia kayak pushing to 12 hour I think. Tapi untuk gue lihat di channelnya ini, di James Schools, asik namanya James Schools. Wah, sorry. So tapi dia belajar itu 3 hari kemarin dia belajar, lalu terakhir 6 hari yang lalu. After that ini nggak tahu. Kalau gue menonton ini sih ya 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 7. Oke. Dia belajarnya nggak 12 jam exactly. Tapi ada yang 5 jam, 4 jam, 8 jam, 3 jam. Jadi kayak semampunya dia dan seinginnya dia itu. Jadi kayak batasannya ada di kita sendiri sih actually. Dan juga mostly sejak kapan ya dia mulai sejauh ini 12 jam ya? I think it's like udah 5 bulan berlalu. Is it 1 hour? No, right? Oh iya dong. 1 hour. 1 year? Oh shit, man. Oh iya, 1 tahun. Ya, ya setahunan lah. Dia mulai belajarnya setahunan dari dia nggak ada thumbnailnya. Lalu ada thumbnailnya. Okay, actually. Oh my god. Tapi dia benar-benar 12 jam exactly. Oh, dia mulainya tahun lalu ya, berarti semenjak Korontoi ini berlangsung dia belajar 12 jam. Oh, sebelumnya ternyata CSGO. Oke. Oh my god, susah sih. Gue akun susah. Karena gue sendiri juga cuman belajarnya ya ngerjain tugas, belajar, after that keluar gitu pipis atau ngambil minum atau makan, kayak bawa ke kamar, habis itu belajar lagi. After that apa ya, ya cuman asal-asalan aja kayak ya udah gitu belajarnya. My God, it's hard work sih. Jadi kayak menjadi yang terbaik untuk membahagiakan orang tuanya, menjadi yang terbaik untuk eh untuk mendapatkan pengalaman yang akan dibagikannya ke orang lain gitulah pokoknya. Dan yang terpenting itu adalah dia apa namanya, yang membahagiakan orang tuanya sih, itu yang terpenting sih kayaknya. Menurut gue sih itu, ya dia ingin sesimpel membahagiakan orang tuanya sih, I think sesimpel itu sih. Jadi kayak oh ya kayak ada pengorbanan, ada penghasilan sih, itu aja sih. Lo bekerja keras ya lo dapatkan sesuatu yang dari kerja keras lo itu sih. Gue juga ngefollow IG beberapa orang yang menurut story-nya sih dia bangun jam 4 habis itu rapat meeting di foto sih. Even gue nggak tahu is real or not, tapi yang melihat dengan hasil yang dia tunjukkan dia kerja keras sih berarti sih. Kayak seperti Tom Wafa, lalu David Gadget In, and then siapa lagi ya? Banyak sih kayaknya. Yang gue paling sering tonton itu ya Tom Wafa sih. Tom Wafa men, dia membuktikan bahwa kayak dia yang awalnya cuma jualan stiker, you know, stiker, dan dia mempunyai beberapa cabang dari CI Sapi, lalu ada toko fashion yang didukung oleh istrinya. Habis itu ada beberapa sih yang apa namanya, beberapa orang yang keras itu untuk bekerja untuk mendapatkan apa yang dia inginkan gitu loh. Lalu gue juga dari IG juga kalau kalian tonton di IG ya gue belajar banyak hal sih dari orang-orang yang gue kira cuman gue doang yang kayak gini. Enggak, gue tuh ya cuman kayak apa sih, kayak pasir cuman diginiin, lu tinggal lo megang pasir nih di pantai, lu angkat berjatuhan semua men. Kalau ada di tangan lu itu lu, yang tersisa di tangan lu kalau tinggal satu itu ya lu. Yang jatuh itu yang orang-orang lain yang kaya atau orang yang kerja keras itu sih. Seperti itu man, it's like hard work. Gue pernah merasa kayak di titik kayak ya udahlah segini aja lah, cukup lah. Gue bahkan sampai sekarang ya masih kayak di titik itu sih, segini aja cukup lah, kayak yang penting ya kayak kuliah aja sih. Kayak kuliah gue cuman yang penting lulus dalam mata kuliah itu, dan nggak peduli lu mau ngeceknya segimana, kayak pokoknya memenuhi dosen, yang penting nilainya nggak di bawah B lah, penting dapat B atau A is oke lah, nggak penting dapat C, D, E, no I want that. Kayak gue nggak mau ya pakai minimal B lah. And yeah, I got it with my team, with myself. Even ya juga kadang tim gue juga agak nyebelin gue sih, I know it. Gue kadang juga berpikir kayaknya teman gue kasihan nih, kayak gue push hard gitu kayak sesuai yang gue inginkan itu, tapi ya udahlah gue agak longgarin sedikit dan gue turunin ego gue agak, biar mereka juga mengerti pekerjaannya dan dia tetap dapat B, gue juga tetap dapat nilai B. Ya pokoknya sama-sama rata dan yang terjadi ya gue susah mendapatkan tim yang gue inginkan sih ya karena mereka tidak mengerti sekeras apa gua, se-strike apa gua. Itu sih. Kalau gue pikir-pikir lagi ya gitu aja lah. Gue ketika berpikir ini benar, tapi kata orang yang menganggapnya salah ya bisa saja, bisa terjadi. And then like lagi ya gitu deh. So gue cuman mau streaming itu aja sih, kayak it's like 40 menitan lah, 40 menit ya sekarang ya, 43 menitan. Ya itulah, gue mau streaming itu aja sih, cuman ngasih tahu mungkin gue akan berubah dalam waktu dekat ini, mungkin bahkan hari ini mungkin gue akan berubah dalam hal kecil aja lah. Belajar dulu mungkin, I think belajar gue sih yang agak diperbaiki sih, yang awalnya cuman ngerjain tugas habis itu ngerti materinya dikit tanpa dipraktekin, habis itu gue tinggal ngerti materi dikit, gue dan tugas tinggal kayaknya gue harus ubah sih kayaknya sih. Karena gue pikir kayak men kalau gue kayak gini terus ya gue ketinggalan banyak men. Gue bahkan yang kayak gini aja masih sometimes diremehin orang, apalagi orang-orang yang sudah bekerja keras itu men, diremehin seperti apa anjing. nggak tahu lagi, pusing gua itulah. Gue cuman gitu aja, cuman mau ngomong gitu aja. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Bukan video sih, streaming sih. Thank you very much for watching this streaming and see you later dengan perubahan gue yang akan gue update secepat mungkin, karena ya kalau nggak diupdate ya gue nggak akan tahu perubahan gue sejauh apa dan signifikan apa dan sebaik apa gitu. Gue juga nggak akan tahu sih, karena melalui update ya gue kayak laporan lah, kayak SPJ lah, LPJ lah, laporan bertanggung jawaban. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this streaming and see you next. Bye bye.